Thank you, Ms. Caro. To introduce you to the 2017 Hero of Military Medicine Ambassador Honoree, please welcome the Secretary of the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, the Honorable David Shulkin.
Well, good evening. Thank you, Jennifer. You do a really great job. Wanted to thank the Center for Public Partnerships for this really terrific evening. And I'm so pleased to be here with so many of you who are honoring our service members, veterans, and who are really honoring our nation. I'm honored to serve as the Secretary of Veteran Affairs. The veterans that we serve inspire me, and that's the reason I choose to serve at VA. Among those inspiring veterans that we're privileged to serve, there is a very, very special group. They are the few rare who have earned our nation's highest honor of valor, the Medal of Honor. That award was established by President Lincoln in 1861. And President Lincoln meant to honor those for supreme acts of gallantry, those enormous acts of intrepidity that simply go beyond human comprehension. The Medal of Honor recognizes the most profound acts of courage imaginable, acts under the most desperate of conditions, incomprehensible except to those who experience them. It's not possible to train for those circumstances that give rise to such extraordinary courage and sacrifice. No one is expected to make this kind of sacrifice. No one would have been criticized for not having acted. And yet those who received the Medal of Honor did act. The man we honor tonight is among those few who have earned this award. He is heroic on two fronts, exhibiting both tremendous physical courage and inspiring moral courage. His actions on both fronts saved others' lives. In his award narrative, you'll find the story of his actions at Combat Outpost Keating in Afghanistan on the morning of October 3rd, 2009. Attacked from three sides by an overwhelming enemy force, he fought with the greatest tenacity. His actions kept other soldiers alive. If you haven't read that narrative, I'd encourage you to do so. His physical courage on that harrowing day is simply awe-inspiring, but our honoree has also demonstrated the highest of moral courage. He chose to share his personal story of his struggle with the lasting impact of combat with others, not just the physical scars of battle, but the mental scars of battle. He's spoken openly, with honesty and extraordinary eloquence, about his battle with post-traumatic stress. In doing so, he's inspired others to seek help in addressing their own struggles. Now he's an advocate for all veterans by helping both the public and his fellow warriors understand that post-traumatic stress is a normal response to traumatic events and encouraging others to seek care when they suffer from PTS. We at VA know those who suffer the less visible wounds of battle can and do get better with treatment. And we know the immense value of the courageous soldiers sharing their story with others. So our next awardee is a hero on two battles, a lifesaver in two fights, a hero on the field of battle far away, and a hero in the field of battle where veterans fight for their lives every day. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming an American hero, the 2017 Hero of Military Medicine Ambassador Honoree, Staff Sergeant Ty Michael Carter, United States Army.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you to the Foundation. I would also like to thank my family, because when I was going through severe trauma or the recovery from severe trauma, they were my counselors as well as the ones the military provided. I learned that even though I was totally against going to counseling, I found out that if I'm failing in my counseling, it's not the counselor's fault, it's mine. A counselor is not a doctor. They don't cut you open, they don't pull out what's wrong and sew you up. A counselor is a guide. They're there to help you help yourself. With my family, with my support group, I guess you can say, I was able to help myself and also learn something that I'm hoping that the rest of you will understand. When I got diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, I felt that there was something wrong. I felt that there was an inappropriate designation there. And because of that diagnosis, I was actually ostracized or chastised, however you want to say it. Mainstream media, social media, has taken something like post-traumatic stress disorder and turned it into a disease. And like every disease, men and women in uniform are dying from it. Even as I speak right now, since we've been here, someone from either World War II all the way up to our current conflict has taken their own life. Not because they don't have the support they need, maybe it's because they don't understand what's going on. We treat post-traumatic stress disorder as if it's kind of an affliction. And in other disorders, I agree it is. It's an affliction. It's something that needs to be changed. But recently, I've gone to school for fire and scientific technology. I'm trying to get my associate's degree. And they put me through general education. So this is the first time I've had the experience to learn about Psychology 101. I can tell you right now, my instructor and I don't always get along. But what it states is that a disorder is something that is abnormal. It's a reaction to something where for post-traumatic stress is actually, they say that you have post-traumatic stress disorder if you're experiencing flashbacks or you're experiencing nightmares or something like that 1 month after a trauma. Before that, it's considered acute stress disorder. So at what point is a natural reaction to something that's unnatural considered a disorder? Well, I'm going to continue on this. Now, when it goes into post-traumatic stress disorder, you have to understand why. He or she who loves nothing fears nothing. Well, I can tell you right now, I love my kids. I love my family. I love my brothers and sisters in uniform. And when I lose one of them, I don't want to forget about them after 1 month. I want them to stay with me for the rest of my life because I do love them. My brother was murdered a long time ago, and I still dream about him. I don't call that a disorder. I call that, I don't know, thanks. Thank you, God, for allowing me to remember him. Post-traumatic stress disorder, in my understanding, is an instinctive reflexive response of your body and mind to recall a traumatic incident in order to avoid repeating it. At no point in time does that label anything that has to do with combat. It has to do with trauma. Trauma could be loss of a loved one, like I spoke about. Trauma could be you got fired from a job. Nobody can define your trauma. Nobody can define mine. I've been speaking about this. My family has been supporting this. I've been going around the U.S. trying to advocate removing the D. It's not a disorder if it's normal. Trauma is not normal, but the reaction to trauma is normal. It got to a point where my better half, Jennifer, I squeezed her hand. I was like, yes, because not a single point in time did somebody label it as post-traumatic stress disorder. This is a miracle. With your help and with all the work we've done, we're changing the way the world sees this thing. It's not necessarily disease if it's natural. It's not a problem if it's instinctive. The only issue is how we are treated when we are labeled with this. We are trying to fix that. It's gotten to a point where movies, media, newspapers, they're starting to either put the D in parentheses or they're completely removing it. This has been my goal, this has been our goal for several years. I think that I've almost achieved that goal. Now, it's time for a new goal. It is my goal, with, of course, as soon as possible, to, I guess, edit the main manual that all psychiatrists, all psychologists, all doctors utilize in order to diagnose an individual. It's called the Diagnostic Statistics Manual, DSM. Every time I hear that, I'm sorry, I'm a movie buff, but every time I hear that, I think of Dust Sound Machine from Pitch Perfect 2. Who's seen that? That's how I remember the acronym, DOS Sound Machine. Really good a cappella group. But anyways, sorry, my bad. It's my goal to change, or to try to change, the DSM-6. Right now, I think it's in the current edition is 5. Like the Constitution, the DSM is a work in progress because there's new theories, there's new developments, there's new understanding, there's new facts and discoveries. And soon, with your help, because I'm sure there's a lot of doctors out there, right? Because I'm not a doctor. I didn't really read anything to get where I am right now. I just kind of did a bunch of stupid things on a very bad day, and it ended up helping people. Hey, truth, sometimes it hurts. If we can change this, because America, especially the American military, is a leader throughout the world, if we can change this, maybe we can improve the quality of lives of individuals that are suffering. They think they have a disease. They're hurting, and because they're called a disorder, and they don't know what a disorder is, they take medication. And because it's natural, the medication doesn't work. They go to counseling. Well, if you treat it like disease, then the counseling's not going to work. Then finally, they try to find a way out. Our job, my job, is to let them know that there is a way, and it doesn't involve self-termination. It doesn't involve self-medication. Through education and understanding and changing this book, we can improve the quality of life of our service members. We can improve the quality of life of our first responders, and of course, the American people. I'm very proud to receive this. In fact, I was talking to Jennifer. She says, hey, they're giving you this medical ambassador award. I was like, why? I'm not a doctor. And she explained it to me because she works directly with the people that created this. And I thought, there's no way. I haven't accomplished anything yet. Hearing tonight, I think we've accomplished a little bit. By you being here and listening, whether you're civilian or you're military or even associated with military, you've chosen to listen. You've chosen to be educated. They say that it's 3% of the American population has either served or associated with somebody who's served. If you've never served, if you don't have any family members who have served, just by listening here and being here tonight, by contributing your time or your money or your own personal efforts, you are now a part of that proud 3%. And hopefully, with your help, you and I can change this manual and then maybe change the world. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your help. Bye.
Thank you and congratulations, Ty Carter. On behalf of the Henry M. Jackson Foundation for the Advancement of Military Medicine and its Center for Public-Private Partnerships, thank you for helping us honor our 2017 Heroes of Military Medicine. It's been my privilege to serve once again as your Master of Ceremonies. Please join me for one last round of applause for all of tonight's honorees. Thank you again to all of our sponsors for making this evening possible, and thanks to each of you for helping us celebrate some remarkable individuals. Please help yourselves to the centerpieces on the tables, drive safely, and please join us again next year. Good night.